Okay, so I was asked to provide a part two for that segment I did on God and dating and how God implements Himself in dating. So I want to talk about something that I personally experienced because I feel like it's like good to kind of explain it. So, um, in my own experience, I was on my phone. I was watching. No, I was scrolling. I was scrolling, and I came across a video, a B Simone video to be exact. So shout out to her for making this video. Um, in this video, she talked about learning and understanding that sometimes God places us in people's lives to be a lesson. So not necessarily a lesson for you, but their lesson. And she said how, oh, if I can find a video, I'm gonna see if I can like insert it or whatever. But she basically said too, like, you know, and it hurts us, the person that God is using to be the lesson for them, because our feelings get involved. You know, we get attached. We develop these emotions, and it's like, okay. And when I saw that video, it kind of just made me realize like it's way bigger than me. Like, of course, I already know that, but like that video made me realize that it's just way bigger than me. It's like I was I was being used to help someone be able to do whatever, learn whatever lesson God wanted them to learn. Now, technically, I feel like once He remove you, if you're that person for a lesson, like if He removes you, then either they learned a lesson or they didn't, and the time is out and the time is over. Like, it's nothing else that can transpire, nothing else can happen. And it's like it sucks because like it's like, well, I didn't really want that. So it's like, you know, your feelings are hurt because, you know, you didn't really want that, and at the time you didn't realize you was a lesson. So you was more invested than you would be if you knew like, oh, I'm really just here to do this or that. So, you know, it kind of like it helped to know that that's what I was doing, but then it also made me feel like, okay, I don't want to be nobody else's lesson. Like, can we not use me next time? Like, granted, I can say that I did learn things for myself. You know, it did help me deal with things that I personally needed to work on, things that I needed to experience and stuff like that. So it did work both ways, but it was more so for them. Like the lesson of us even doing anything was mostly for them. And I feel like the enemy already knows that. So it's like either the enemy is going to win or God is going to win. And sometimes the enemy wins, and you have to be like, that's the hurtful part, because now God's going to pull you away. God's not going to allow you to become something that you're not, and He's also not going to allow you to go down a path that He knows that you either didn't work hard to do, to walk away from. Like, He already knows. Okay. Okay. So He's going to pull you away, and it's like it sucks, but it's like okay. And so I feel like because I specifically asked, I was like, you know, next time, can that person just be already where you want them to be? Like, can they just already be there and just kind of go versus me trying to, you know, build? I don't know. Like, oh my gosh. But, yeah, like, I feel like that is where I was. Honey, stop. She's eating and she's chasing her, like, at this point, okay. But, yeah. So, you know, and that part goes into, like, you know, now when God answers prayers pretty quickly, and sometimes, you know, so you kind of just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go with this, and then that goes into a part where, like, how I said, either God gonna give you that lesson again, or if well, that's too because of the fact that you was being also given a lesson. You weren't necessarily being tested, but you was given a lesson as well. So if you didn't learn your lesson, he's gonna give you somebody else that you're gonna be a lesson for. It's almost like being volunteered to be a tutor, and then you tutor, and then you're like, okay, well next time I don't want to be a tutor, and then it's like, but if you didn't learn the lesson, it's gonna be like, oh, you're gonna be a tutor again. Like, it's weird. I don't know. But that's just how God. That's how God shows me sometimes. Like either you're gonna have that role, you know, because everybody has a purpose, everybody has a certain path, and I feel like once you figure that out and you learn what that is, it's like He communicates with you on a different level to where you can know, like, okay, this is what we're doing, or this is what I just did, and then you're like, okay, now I understand. But I don't want to do that again. Just saying, like, you gotta be honest. Like, you gotta tell him because clearly he already know what's on your heart, but you gotta be vocal. You gotta put it on your tongue. Like, Lord, can I not volunteer for that position again? I want to do something else. Like when you get picked for job duties, and the last time you had a job that you didn't really like don't pick me for that one again. Like I don't want to do that one. Can we do something else? Like that's what certain people, not all people, because you just have certain people doing certain things. So like that's what it's like when you're given that task or responsibility. That's what it feels like. But you can speak, you know? You have free will, so you can speak and be like, Lord, I don't know. And then you also be a little bit more mindful too of what you see, and you be like, I ain't falling for that again. Like what that means you learn your lesson as well. So, you know, every lesson comes with a blessing. And sometimes the blessing doesn't come until after the lesson. And sometimes the blessing is the lesson. Like it's how he works. But that's kinda like what I feel is something that I also learned with that. And I think that it's important to know. It's like a what is it? A cheat code. It's like a little cheat code to be like, and you can ask, and God will reveal it to you. Will if you pay attention to see it, but He will tell you that's what your role is, and that's what you're supposed to be doing, and you'll feel it too. You'll be like, all right, this is similar to what I did before, so I definitely feel like this is another one. Like you'll be able to know, but you might not stay as long either, because you'll be like, I already did this before. Sorry. Like you're like, I already did this. I'm good on it. Like you don't get that long. You don't get that long to learn the lesson this time. Like whoever that person is, like they don't get to take 20 years to learn the lesson. Like you got to learn the lesson quickly. And if you don't learn it quickly, it's time to go. And then that way, God doesn't technically remove you, but you remove yourself. And you really learn the lesson in. You know, it's like it's steps to this. It's steps, but everything works the way God wants it to work, and it's just just up to us to be able to figure that out and pay attention. So, if I think of anything else, I will do another part. But I think that's all I have. You have a great day. Be blessed, and love God, love yourself.